Welcome everybody back to the DomCast episode 12, which feels like the amount of times that D Rose has played for Tom Thibodeau throughout his career. He is fresh off a trade. But before we get to all that, I got my co-host with me today. You say what's good to the people.
What's good?
Yeah, we are back here, second episode with E12 overall. Somewhat of a light week, I guess. I don't know, basketball feels weird because we just had the Super Bowl last night. I guess we'll probably talk about that one a little bit more towards the end. Couple of games postponed this week per usual, and I got a couple of different topics. I guess we'll just start off with the Derrick Rose trade because that was the more shocking one. I guess more so how quick it developed and where he went. So D Rose, if you hadn't heard, had been traded to the New York Knicks for Dennis Smith Jr., who just asked to be sent to the G League. So I guess he got his wish. He's a Detroit Piston now, and second round pick, I believe, on top of that. And the Knicks have another guard and what looks like a kind of crowded backcourt. Anyways, what did you think about the trade? Because I don't know, I wanted to see Rose on a contender, but it's a playoff contender.
Of this trade. No, not to be funny. Is that I don't know what. I guess they didn't want to waste D Rose time there in Detroit.
Well, yeah, I mean, him and Detroit were wasting each other's time.
Burning wheels.
You say what?
It's burning rubber.
Yeah. Like Rose is still a useful point guard.
Yeah,
like he can still play. Is the thing, and Detroit is
maybe they feel like, well, Dennis Smith gets minutes here.
Yeah, and especially because Killian Hayes is out at the moment, right. And Smith wanted his he wanted his burn. Yeah. For the Knicks, it's interesting because we're right in the midst of this whole Emmanuel Quickley breakout. And they play the same position, obviously. And we know not Rose, but Tibbs likes to go with his vets,
his people, the people he likes.
When you're young on that team, it kind of seems like you're fighting for positions. So I wonder what the usage would be there. I guess the Knicks did need a bit of a shot of offense because they're mostly defensive. They're a defensively minded team.
Sent around Randall offense and maybe.
Right.
Again, they tried this at the Timberwolves. It wasn't a good experience, in my opinion.
And the other thing that's weird here is like it's with RJ Barrett as well, because like you're trying to bring him along too. If you're the Knicks,
you got him, you Obi Toppin, you got draft like young players, and I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, so. They're gonna throw Rose on top of that. I guess that means Austin Rivers is probably. That's what I saw. I saw he was pretty much trade bait at this point because he's.
Or who are they starting five? You know,
the Knicks had been starting last time I checked. Nerlens Noel. It's like
RJ Barrett, right?
Yeah.
I think Peyton started.
Yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of guards. There's a lot of ball handling going on there. Yeah, so it's interesting because this is the one season that they've been somewhat competitive too. They're 8th seed right now. I think they're probably on their way out of the playoff race at the moment because the Raptors look like they're squeezing back in, and still we're waiting for the Miami Heat to reinsert themselves into this conversation at some point. But either way, I'm glad that Derrick Rose is on somewhat a competitive team.
I really thought he was going to Clips or something.
Yeah, the Clippers, by the way, I just saw this on Twitter while I was here looking for notes. The Clippers are looking possibly to trade Lou Will and Patrick Beverly as well. Maybe they said that they're available, so which is interesting because they've been having
that whole era is gonna be going after they get traded. Like, no players from that era. The post, I don't know, I guess post Lob City, but pre Kawhi era.
Yeah. Lou Will was obviously one of the big reasons they lost last year to the Nuggets in the playoffs. Yeah, he was getting hit like crazy in the pick and roll. So it'd be interesting to see what value they can cash in for them. Speaking of the Clippers, Paul George is actually dealing with an injury right now. Had you heard much about it? Because he didn't play the Celtics game.
Foot, right?
Yeah, something with his toe. It's one of those really random injuries where people are like, he could be out for a couple of weeks. Yeah, he could be out for a couple of months.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Yeah, anything ranging from those time periods, which would be pretty devastating because PG's this is one of the few seasons so far where it's like he's been totally healthy in a long time, and he's been hooping. Anything to disrupt that rhythm, especially in a season where you're probably going to miss some more games because of
COVID situation.
Yeah, health and safety protocols completely mess up the Clippers' whole flow. And probably just contribute to what's going to be a very strange, conference seeding by the time this is all over, because things like this, an injury to Paul George kind of make it where the Jazz might end up being first or second, where the top two was originally going to be the Clippers and Lakers. So that's a couple of things going on with some of the more established teams. I've been paying attention more to some rookies, though, because coming into this class, people have been saying, like, it wasn't really expected to be that great. You remember they were
yeah, absolutely. It was like no clear number one. They compared it to the I think the Oladipo draft.
Yeah, which was 2013, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know Oli went second, Bennett went first.
That was and that was one
where
Giannis
was deep down there.
Yeah. And the guys that became stars out of that draft, it took them a while to show up. So that was a weird looking draft. However, like, we're off to a hot start here, and it's from some of the more unexpected names too. Like, I see, just from my count, maybe like 4 potential stars, I would say right now. Does that sound like a realistic number for you? I would say right now, out of just potential stars, just from where we are right now, obviously you have LaMelo. That's Wiseman, definitely. He looks like next season he'll probably be, something like that. I would go Halliburton. And then my 4th would be Anthony Edwards, who's nobody's paying attention to. Yeah, because he's playing in Minnesota.
Ain't not good.
You hadn't seen much.
It's in Minnesota, man.
Yeah. I'm happy with what's going on with Quickly, but I don't really know if I see like star yet, but I do see good development. So, but even like I said, that's just 4. Somebody would name the guy in Chicago, Patrick Williams. They would name
Patrick was nice. I like him.
Yeah, it's a good class, and it's interesting with the Rookie of the Year talk, because LaMelo Ball is just starting this week.
Yeah, he's been balling since he's been starting.
Yeah, he's got the numbers. I think I had been saying, because I keep an eye on the rookies pretty closely, but I've been saying I pretty much think that's all it would take for him is to start and eventually probably run away with the Rookie of the Year.
He got heavy media coverage.
Yeah, he's got that actually ties into something I'll be going to maybe even next. But yeah, LaMelo, he's got everything on him. He's got the media coverage. He's got the numbers, because he's gonna be putting up multiple nights with probably like.
And plus, the offense run through him. So.
Yeah, and so even again, especially for a Rookie of the Year award, I don't think anybody really cares about defense. They're not really.
Nobody really cares about defense.
Especially this season.
That.
Yeah. Hey, just a quick segue. What did you think? You were keeping up with Isaiah Thomas's.
I saw that he said nobody play defense anymore. I forgot what he said after that, but. I guess it's one of the things that people don't really care for defense.
Did you see his exchange though? Like that?
No, I didn't see the thread. I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah, it was salty because he was saying that nobody plays defense, which obviously protects him. Because
I saw the thing about I'm a bad liability on defense.
Yeah, that was a different one. I think
he was tripping on that. But,
they kept.
But the one saying nobody play defense is accurate. Out of the top 10, 15 star players, how many are like elite defenders?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think
that's why we praise the two-way guys like Paul George and Kawhi. But it's not.
Yeah. I think specifically this season, with limited practice time, basically, and things like that, I think it's probably a bit rustier than it would be.
Yeah.
Team's defense. So, back to the Melo part. Nobody's going to be paying attention to that. They see nice dimes. They see good stats. And if the Hornets are either around the playoffs or in the playoffs, I think it'll be, relatively.
They're 7th right now.
Yeah. And they're like tied, right, pretty much. With
they're 11-13. Knicks 11-14. Hawks 11-12.
Right. Yeah, so I do like what I see from LaMelo so far.
It's a 2-man race though.
You think it's a 2-man race for Rookie of the Year? Yeah. You think?
Halliburton, Melo.
Really? So you wouldn't put Wiseman in?
I would, but I guess LaMelo and Halliburton impact their teams more than Wiseman because you got Curry and Draymond. Mm-hmm. So I guess some of the tension will be on them more than he deserved more.
So basically, you're saying like LaMelo and Halliburton are like first, second options.
Team. Like I can see their direct impact on wins and losses if they perform good or not. Mm-hmm. Wiseman, he's a third, but I just think you have Curry and Draymond to carry some of that slack in a sense. But I think it's a 2-man race. I think beginning to see there was a legit Wiseman.
So you're kind of going with like what we were talking about with the MVP race. So basically, kind of like the team around you. Since Wiseman was drafted,
I'm just saying. I think it's people pay attention more. They pay attention to Wiseman just because he's on the Warriors. Mm-hmm. But if you pay attention to Kings because of Halliburton and his impact, I think he would kind of. Because we already said he went too far in the draft. He dropped.
Yeah, somebody losing their job over that, by the way. I said there's gonna be people losing their job over that.
Because even the mock draft and people before, we thought Halliburton was going a little higher up. We thought he'd go higher than Patrick Williams.
Yeah, he was a top 5 projected.
Yeah, it was obvious. I don't know what number he actually drafted by, what number he drafted to. But I know he should have been off the table long.
You know what hurts my soul is Boston tried to trade for him.
Oh yeah,
like they tried to get him. They tried to put together a package, and the Kings would not. They wouldn't dare trade that away when the draft night was actually happening, and especially this season with Kimba trying to get his legs under him. Now Marcus Smart is out. Just our guard situation as a whole. Like,
I'm pretty sure they probably wanted him one of your stars, man.
No, not for Halliburton. No, I don't remember exactly what the package was, but it was like one of those where it was like if we could have got that shit that would have been amazing. Because when you think about Halliburton, there's actually more teams than the Kings. There's teams up there that needed him more than the Kings.
Yeah,
because he's a guard. And they have De'Aaron Fox.
I think he's like 6'5" too, big guard.
Yeah, big guard. IQ off the charts. Basically.
Yeah, he's a steady player. Like he don't force things. He let the game come to him. He's a smart player. Like he don't make mistakes.
Yeah, rarely.
Yeah,
rarely.
If you beat him, it's because you just. But he don't hurt himself.
Yeah,
he don't hurt the team
at all. Leads the which I didn't even know until I was watching the Kings Nuggets games the other day, and Mark Jones said it that he leads the Kings in deflections right now, deflected passes. That's a stat they actually keep. I thought I had watched them enough to know that was a fair assumption, but they do keep track of that. The shot has translated so far. I think they said he's shooting 40% from.
It is the release look kind of crazy, but it's effective
and it works. Yeah, that's I can't remember who said it, but they were like. You know, as far as shot release, I think it's what they used to talk about with Lonzo and worrying about his shot release. They're like, if it works for you, right. Yeah. They're like, if it works for you, then it works.
Absolutely. Basically. I guess they was concerned about him getting like stripped, the block, somebody like. Cause Halliburton got he got slow release, but he releases super quick. But I guess he gathered.
Yeah,
and it's like it's all in his wrists.
Yeah, it's where it comes from. It's like you wouldn't. It wouldn't look like it would work in the NBA.
He's it's not like a shooting thing. It's like he just smacks it, like shoot it off his hand.
Yeah,
and goes in.
Just like it's like an evolved Sean Marion.
Yeah.
And Sean Marion's used to work for him. Yeah. He used to like push that shit for like how you. I don't even know. I gotta do more research on Sean Marion's really how that even.
It's like a hybrid between Sean Marion and Marty.
Yeah, our friend Martin. Yeah, that's you know what's funny? Reese and Martin actually shoot the exact same, and they both work basically.
Like I understand Marty release, but it's wet, man.
Yeah, we got a friend named Martin back when the world was safe. We used to play at LA Fitness with all the time, and he shoots. His release is like Halliburton's. I get mad at this guy because I used to play point guard with Marty, and like I throwing the ball, and I'm just like, yo, how does this shit work? Like you just started throwing this up one day, and it started working.
Don't understand.
But I think one thing that works in Halliburton's favor is that he's getting his shot off most of the time. He picks his spots really well. Yeah. Like he's not trying to fling that off in traffic. He's not trying to fling it off of a sidestep.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to get open.
Prayers. He don't throw up prayers.
Yeah, not at all. He knows how to get open. He knows that what's really helped the Kings is what I was worried about when he got drafted there is he's a really good off-ball guard because of that shot works. Wow. And so Fox, who by the way lately, is playing like all-star. Yeah, like literally, they're right outside of the playoff race. They're right there. They might be able to crack it. I think they're tied for 9th or 8th right now, so they'll be in the play-in more than likely the way it's going. 8 and 9. Fox is moving at lightning speed. I think he's starting, at least in this last stretch that I've been watching, he's starting to take that step I think that we kind of hoped for. You know, because we've been keeping track of Fox since Lonzo came in the league, basically. Since they came in the league together. Exactly. We've been keeping track of that. And so but when they got drafted there, I was kind of worried about how that would work because I thought there were teams like the Knicks that needed a guard that would have the ball in his hands more. Because there are times during the games where the Kings they don't have Fox on the floor and Reese kind of runs it on ball a little bit more. But he plays with Corey Joseph a lot too. So there's been a lot of good off ball play. Like we said, IQ. He had a couple of end of quarter plays. I don't know if you saw one where he basically caught Buddy Hield's crazy ass like half court shot, and then laid it up. Fourth quarter scoring, I'm pretty sure he's still near the top. They've been going to him since the beginning of the season for clutch shots, and so that's working really well for them. If the Kings, especially if they get That will be interesting to see his Rookie of the Year chances. He did just win Rookie of the Month, by the way, for the Western Conference.
Okay.
Because you see on the standings, they're right there with the Warriors. If the Kings make the playoffs, the Warriors don't, and then also the Hornets don't. I wonder if that'll be enough of a push because obviously people don't pay attention to Sacramento.
Because most likely rookies, high picks go to bad teams.
Yeah,
that's why they don't factor in records.
Yeah, true.
You lottery. I mean, you go into an underperforming team. So maybe kind of last year. Who was it last year?
Who was the Rookie of the Year last year? Because of COVID, I have low key. On the lowest of keys forgot, and there's no way we don't forgot that. That one, bad, that one came out of nowhere. Tory rookie. It's gonna be somebody funny. John Morant. There we go. John Morant, how the fuck? Yeah, big tripping.
Right, yeah. Like days is merging. Merging. I don't know.
Everything merging together. But you were going with the record thing.
Yeah, like I think record is not as much of a factor. I think it's more of the numbers.
Right.
And it's the numbers really, because I don't think all rookie is ever. I'm saying because they lottery picks, they be going to bad teams, but yeah, maybe if Kings, if he could keep doing what he does, maybe get a lot more bigger numbers, Sprotter in there, and he get like actually in the playoff contentions, like legit. Right. Absolutely, I see him winning it.
Yeah, because he, if you watch Kings games, it's just abundantly clear he helps his team win. Like that's his biggest impact. Yeah. So just lately, he's stringing together games where he's got 20+ points. He did that against the Nuggets and the Celtics, I believe. But most other nights you'll see it's like maybe 13-6 or 11-5-5 or something like that.
Like for example, do you think if Zion played more games, still had a stat line where he would won it
last year?
Yeah.
If Zion to play more games, absolutely.
Yeah, so I just think if LaMelo start getting these 20-ball games and stuff like that, he's box office just because of the media coverage. I just think he will get it.
Right.
But if you factor in impact on the game numbers and team success, Halliburton should get that. But.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out because, again, the advantage I talked about now is that LaMelo is starting as well. He may be starting on a playoff team, and it wouldn't be undeserved either. LaMelo is more or less what people expected, which is cool because he's living up to the expectations that Lonzo Ball obviously really didn't at the time and the situation that he came into. But LaMelo.
He also a big guard too, 6'8".
Yeah, LaMelo. Huge guard. Yeah, that's they've got a future. They've got a future with him because it remains to be seen if his shot will get better. If his shooting percentage will get better. But he'll have the tools once he learns the game a bit more. He'll have the tools for defense because he is a big guard. He'll have the advantage on that. Vision is out of this world, so he might throw some turnovers right now.
If you're a big guard like Halliburton and Melo, and you got some type of like offensive game, you got a job.
Yeah, you got a job. Absolutely, yeah. And so he's good. The Hornets will. They got a good one there, and the Kings got a good one too. It's a weird thing with the rookie class this year, going back to the records, because technically all three of them got drafted to teams that were either like James Wiseman, eventually about to contend, or teams that were right within striking distance of the playoffs. It seems like Edwards is kind of like the lone wolf in this one, no pun intended, that got hung out to dry on a team that's kind of trying to put it together.
I guess one of the things where you get drafted to a bad team and we don't know what Minnesota doing. I know Cat going through a lot personally, and plus he's out right now, right?
Yeah, he's still out.
Timberwolves has been the Timberwolves for years.
Yeah,
man.
It's been
after
that way
Butler.
for a while.
That 1 year with Butler left, Butler was there. We saw success. But after that, they went back to the original.
Yeah, it's been like that for a minute. I wouldn't even blame Cat if he don't play basketball again this year. Just don't want everything that's going on in his life.
Can't focus on ball right now.
I am looking forward to seeing Cat and Edwards together, and eventually maybe moving D'Angelo Russell for some pieces because I'm not sure.
I thought they wanted D'Lo because they like best friends.
Him and Cat? Yeah, but I'm saying now you've gotten Edwards too, who's going to need to grow. Maybe him and Russell can grow with each other.
I don't think Edwards can be a point guard though.
Yeah,
I don't think he got that type of playmaking ability.
Yeah, I mean, I've kept an eye on him a little bit. I think his playmaking is gonna come along. He's showed some flashes already this year.
I thought he gonna be like a natural two guard, small forward.
Yeah, he's got the scoring. I think he's got the touch for some playmaking as well. They got a good one in him. It's funny because that's what you were talking about with the record, and their record is going to be complete. I think it's past that point where it's like there's too many other rookies in the class.
Well, I just think it's one of those situations where we know what Minnesota trying to get a draft pick. They ain't trying to win games.
Yeah, get another one.
Yeah, they're trying to
split with them. But for the audience, if y'all haven't been watching Anthony Edwards, yes, the record for the Wolves is bad, but they've got a good building block there. But Minnesota has had good building blocks for my entire life.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying necessarily it's going to go anywhere with that franchise, but Anthony Edwards is probably going to be a good one. I guess reversing it a little bit and talking about last year's rookie in Zion Williamson. Have you seen basically I guess people are upset that he doesn't get coverage anymore?
Well, I saw the B-Soul video.
Really? Well, I hadn't seen it. What was he saying?
He's talking about, like, we don't care about Zion. Like, there's nobody, the league don't care as much as Zion. Like, if you look at last year, he was.
Yeah, the hype was.
Now it's like he got good numbers.
Oh, yeah, no, he's like.
But the team's not doing good, and he's not getting that front page attention.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
it's
the
same type of vibe, though.
Yeah, about.
I don't see Zion trending as much as used to, or
which is funny because everyone said that he was getting posted too much before, and now he don't really get posted.
I remember you told me that Pelican had more televised games than Nuggets.
Yeah. And they still have to schedule the second half of the season, so we'll see how that goes.
Change a little bit.
Yeah, because the Pelicans are trying to figure their roster out, figuring out what they want to do with Lonzo. I think part of it with Zion is also, he plays smarter at this point right now. I think he plays a little bit smarter, so you don't see the same highlights all the time that you kind of expected coming in.
Trying to teabag somebody. Yeah, he don't be on that. Like, most of you see his way he do layups is mostly he'll jump and do a layup.
Yeah.
He don't try to put on somebody's head like that.
He's extremely dominant right now around the rim, too.
Defensively.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not defensively right now. That may come one day, may not. But as far as his on offense and the gravity that he commands without really being able to shoot or anything, at the moment, it's pretty fierce.
In college, I thought he was gonna be a great defender. That famous block he did, where he cover I don't know, 12 feet in the air.
Right.
I thought he would be a great defender for some reason.
He's still, again, so rookie year, he barely played at all. Last year, he was just kind of fumbling around. He just put together a decent rookie season off of straight raw talent. Then you come into this year and it's the COVID season where, again, practice time is a bit limited.
Right.
And so especially with younger players, like we just said with LaMelo, sometimes it takes a minute to get that defensive side and learn the defensive side of the game. Some players come in with it instinctually, like Halliburton, because he knows how to hop passing lanes like a pro already. He's just really good at defense, and that takes it just takes a certain type of player at the moment. Some people need to learn it, some people come with it. I think Zion, that part, he's clearly got the physical tools for it, so that could be a thing one day. But as we said, nobody's really paying attention to that.
Yeah, 23.7, 7.2 rebounds.
Yeah. And no injury scares at the moment. No. So it's panning out how we thought it kind of would at this point. This is only the second season. Yeah. I think he just became the fastest to a certain number of points, I believe, and he's barely played, which is funny throughout the first season. He put up a couple of records this week, I think.
I just think people expecting something great because the way, the way he was supposed to be the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they didn't expect him. I guess they expected him to do more.
Yeah,
be like some
transformational LeBron type. That's the mistake we've all made a couple of times now. Is every time we did it with Ben Simmons, he was the most hyped prospect since LeBron James coming in, because very big player that can handle the ball with vision. Then we had Zion again, another generational athlete. Every time we get a generational athlete that comes in, we go not so much that this is the next LeBron, but we say oh yeah, this is the most hyped since LeBron or whatever. And the reality is
he close with that.
It's just the reality is that nobody is going to do the things anytime soon that LeBron did when he came in, because after LeBron's rookie season where they didn't make the playoffs, it's been pedal to the metal ever since then. They were in the second round, game 7 of the second round in his second season. Right after that,
been balling ever since.
So that takes a very specific set of circumstances and a very specific type of player, and so that could play into the whole Zion thing, as well as now the Pelicans look like they're probably still a couple of moves and maybe years away.
I got a question. How I don't know if we said this last week. How long do Van Gundy got?
How long does Van Gundy have with this team? Yeah. You said last week. You said he got 2 years, I think.
I think he got this year, and if they have a bad start beginning next year, he getting fired, because they have way better expectations than this.
Yeah. Coaches turn over fast too. Is the thing. Coaches turn over very quickly. Again, people's main gripe with Van Gundy is the usage of Lonzo, because they think there's better. They think there's a better way to use him than basically having him in the corner. Yeah. Which his shooting was improving, but he's still not your full-time floor spacer, basically. That's not really his skill set. So it'd be interesting.
The defensive side, I don't know what they can do to fix that. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Pelicans end up doing with him, whether they, try to involve him more, or whether they just end up sending him away and then he ends up doing better in a different system. That'll be something to watch.
Who, Lonzo?
Yeah.
Third system now.
Third system.
All right.
Well, I mean, let's talk. I mean, he played with the Lakers first, which the Lakers didn't have anything really great going until LeBron came back. And then LeBron came back and we were like, well, we already knew what that was. As soon as LeBron signed there, we were like, okay, so you and you were gone eventually. Like, we knew that was going to happen. I hardly remember Brandon Ingram in a Lakers jersey. That's the funny thing, because it all happened so fast. And I forgot he had the injury that year.
The groin.
The condition, I forgot.
Oh, yeah, like some blood clot thing.
Yeah, which is crazy because he came back from that, and that could have been serious. So that's one. That it was LA, so that's your strike one. Strike two, Pelicans.
I'm saying, third time to try.
Yeah, it could be.
Wiggins did go his second team, so maybe Lonzo need more time.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Trade deadline will be approaching rather soon, so we'll see where they end up moving on. By the way, last week it was just conceptualized. This week it's actually been put in stone. We are going to have an All-Star game. We're going to have an All-Star game. We're going to have an All-Star weekend.
I know we have an All-Star game. I don't know about no 3-point contest and dunking.
Yeah, dunk contest in an empty arena.
Challenge.
Yeah, dunk contest in an empty arena doesn't sound appealing.
Any of this stuff in the empty arena don't sound pleasant.
Say what? Anything in an empty arena? I mean, maybe the All-Star game, but already you got the stars like LeBron and Giannis has said, like, mentally I'm not going to be there, whatever. That because like
a lot of players, like even Harden said, like, fam,
yeah,
you know, it's very sudden, man. We still trying to like COVID Tracy, trying to super spread this.
I think what complicated it more was what happened with KD this week in the Raptors game. Because for those of y'all that don't know, Raptors game started, that caught us all by surprise. We thought we thought everything was money, and then we found out, KD is not going to be in this game. Like, apparently he just got pulled right before the game. All right, cool. And he showed up 5 minutes later, and we're like, oh, never mind, he's safe. That shit looked fishy already.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then by about the third quarter, he got pulled again. They were like, "Oh, actually, he wasn't safe. My bad."
According to Woj, a close associate of KD had an inconclusive test.
Yeah, and
so probably one of his homies. I don't know what you mean.
I think
by
they said
close
the team. I think they
associate.
said it was somebody on the team training staff he was in the car with had inconclusive. That turned positive, I believe, is what they said.
Right.
Yeah, they eventually found out it was positive. So they were like, "Oh, he did have contact with somebody who was positive. We gotta yank him." Yeah, while he was in the game, which is interesting because like if the test was inconclusive, I guess they just went ahead and
That's
did not
light, that Mika ball.
Yeah, they didn't err on the side of caution. They were like, because some confusion. I saw some people were confused about it, and they were saying like, "Oh, well, KD already had it. He can't carry it twice." Well, actually, that's not true. You can carry it twice. That
Absolutely.
that can happen.
Yeah.
And so that could have sabotaged like a lot of people that were in that game with KD.
Both teams.
Yeah, which I don't understand how that happens because if KD through contact tracing, KD was
in the locker room with the team.
Yeah, but still these guys are playing. They played the Sixers the next day. I don't really understand how it actually works or whatever. I don't know. But that makes it all the more interesting that we're gonna have an all-star game where we're gonna bring guys from all over the country together. The other people's arguments is like they play each other every night right now, so what's the problem anyways? But my thing is like, what? This is an unnecessary risk, like because the all-star game's not that important. So it just seems kind of
get some money, man. Money grabs.
It's the ads and all that.
Whatever.
Ad spaces, all that. Yeah, it does kind of seem like an unnecessary thing to bring them all together. But I did hear some other perspectives. They were like, this might be some people's first time all-star experiences. You don't really want it to just be the selection, and not the experience.
I just think you're not gonna have a competitive game.
Yeah,
like half of this, if all the superstars don't want to be there, they're gonna be lackluster. They're not gonna be like last year what they did for Kobe, where
that was amazing.
They ain't gonna be like this year.
That entire thing was amazing.
Yeah, they like
they were like
might check out in the first quarter. Like, you go ahead, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody played like the whole game. But yeah, somebody brought up, they were like, oh yeah, what if Mike Conley finally get his first selection, and then this is his first all-star experience, and now it's just a selection
on the screen.
Yeah,
like, hey, how you feel, man? I feel great. Yeah, virtual.
Yeah. So we'll see how it ends up happening. Just to go on the record, obviously, I'm not really in favor of it because I never really thought about last All-Star Weekend was the last one that I really enjoyed. Like in terms of the game, that's the first one that I really like enjoyed. I thought that seemed like it had the only thing they needed to fix was actually ending the game on a free throw.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, that was the only thing they needed to fix. Everything else seemed like it inspired competition, the way we wanted it, because it had gotten really bad throughout the years. Dating back to that game where like Steph Curry laid down on the ground while Giannis. Yeah, I remember we watched that one together. It was getting terrible. So that's the All-Star game situation. Kevin Durant did not get to play against the Sixers. So the Nets and Sixers game you were asking last week when it was going to happen. It happened this week, but
it didn't really happen.
Yeah, it felt really inconsequential. Right. It was just James Harden. Embiid put up 33 and 9, I believe, so he didn't get the famed 60. The 60 ball with up. But either way, whatever had to happen in that game, I wasn't that interested because that's not that's like when the Spurs used to play Miami and they used to like sit out their players and shit like that. You couldn't tell anything, even if it was going to be a playoff matchup. What did happen this week though? We did get a couple of other healthy games. Steph once again puts up 57 points, I believe. So, his career high this year was 62. He put up like 62. Yeah, so he put up 57. That was after the Warriors put up like 150 on them. It was one of those home series, basically. Warriors in Dallas. This time it was a duel. Luka had 42. Steph had his 57. And I did find that one interesting because going back to more of the record, I was looking at the MVP race. Steph's not even in the NBA's top 5 right now, despite basically keeping the Warriors alive. So that's obviously record, pretty much, you would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he's keeping the team afloat. I think he's averaging close to his unanimous MVP numbers right now, which is the
only thing missing is 739.
Yeah. The record to go with it, which is what people used to always say, right? This year, Steph is putting up in 23 games thus far. Yeah, he's putting up his second highest scoring. Yeah, this is the second highest scoring bout since the 2016 year. So 29 points a game. He'll probably get it up to 30. He's shooting a higher free throw percentage that year, 93%. 42% from 3, which is
the AC 12-11 tied with Zach.
Yeah, so that's not gonna do it. They would have to. What seed do you think the Warriors would have to crack to get him like a realistic?
Only reason Westbrook got the 6th seed because he had a historical career. So I'm pretty at least 5.
So you think if the Warriors could get it up to 5?
Yeah, with that roster, absolutely.
Right.
He'd be more of a legit candidate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. San Antonio sits at 5 right now. The Warriors are only a game out of that. So if they would have finished 5, the only thing with that, I guess that would make him a more serious MVP candidate. I don't know if it would win it. Just
because, of course not. At least he'd be not a serious, but like a legit candidate.
Yeah, to win it over guys like Jokic and LeBron and Embiid, I think Steph would probably have to I think it'd be impossible. He would have to push it to like 3, maybe.
Build types averages.
Top 4. I guess top 4 West team.
Top 4, but crazy stat line.
I think this is crazy enough. I think the numbers right now are MVP. Worthy.
What he averaging right
30 points right now, 6 assists, which is only all of these are slightly less than his MVP year. He's averaging.
What's his efficiency?
Say what?
Efficiency.
His efficiency, 42% from 3 right now, which is
crazy. I don't understand this. I be seeing games he 4 for 10 from 3. Mm-hmm. But in the day, he still averaged like 40% from 3-point line. I don't get it.
I liked Lowe's post, the Legend of Winning's post about efficiency. Did you see it?
No.
The other day he was basically it's showing showing how field goal percentage doesn't necessarily equal efficiency. It doesn't tell the story about efficiency for a player because if a team or if a player shoots a certain amount of 3-pointers and makes it, but a player is shooting a certain amount of 2-pointers, but their percentage says they're more efficient. Another guy might have been more efficient on less shots, basically, while shooting 3-pointers. Yeah, I might have said that kind of confusing.
I got to understand.
Yeah, but either way, that's kind of what's going on with Steph this year. And I'm happy for him because he killed the narratives. Like, there's already nothing really to talk about because people thought those first 3 games were going to be like the entire season without, super talent around him.
I heard all the little storylines.
And the Mavs game is the most representative of that, I think, because the Mavs game is just straight like launching and with super coverage too. Two people chasing them around and shit like that. He had that one through where he pulled up from the logo with 22 seconds on the clock. Yeah, that's crazy behavior. But they end up losing that game. But yeah, and he also had a comment this week saying that he was basically in the middle of his prime, I believe. So we still got
Curry said that.
Yeah. He said he's like, and he was talking about the title window and stuff like that. So we still probably got a good amount of time to go with stuff. That brings us to. Yeah, you said you didn't really see much of the Clippers and Nets because the Clippers and Nets happened on Tuesday. It feels like so much longer ago. But so I guess we didn't get to talk about it on the podcast. Either way, that was the Nets' biggest test. They were able to
when Kyrie dropped 38 games?
Yeah. Kyrie. I was most interested in that one. I was just most interested in that one because I knew that's probably like a possible finals matchup, and I was interested to see defensively how they would handle it. And just in that game, it just kind of came. Kyrie, first of all, gave some pretty good defensive effort. There was times where he was switched on to Kawhi Leonard, and at least the effort was there. James Harden's low post defense came out because Kawhi couldn't back him down a couple of times. And then the really tough part was just the getting down to the end of the game with the Nets. Like, if you're down by 4 or 5 points to the Nets with 2 minutes to go, it's kind of like being down. It's kind of like being down 10 because KD, Harden, and Kyrie, I think the Nets are leading the league in like fourth quarter ISO points right now.
Naturally,
yeah, naturally. So it's kind of what you would expect. So you kind of have to invent ways to stop one of the three of them every single play. And then on the other side of the court, you can't make any mistakes. Like, you can't have a layup pop out.
It seemed like Nets have to play the perfect game. The offense is the perfect game.
You said the Nets have to play a perfect game
to win. I know that mentioned like in the finals they have to play perfect offensively to win to win the title.
Which shouldn't be that.
Should be that hard with three of those guys.
Yeah, yeah, because offense is always a lot of times going to beat great defense is the thing. So
yeah, especially
Yeah, offense is.
I know defense win championships, but when people say it's based out of getting a stop.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean like you out here 0-4 Pistons all day with no offense. It's mostly getting stops when you need to.
That's always funny about the 0-4 Pistons. We don't really have another team that like. There's not really that
80 points. Nah.
Yeah, like that has since them like no team. There's no really team that even in the modern era we can really relate to them that won a championship with like well-rounded talent, but like it was mostly defense. Yeah, that happened that year, and then every year after that, you got the Spurs, great defense, but also like 3-star level players, Celtics, Lakers. Like nobody's out here with just like fringe.
But you're right when it goes. If you down by 4,
it's
really down by you down by 12, man.
Yeah, practically, and that's
I saw one video where Harden hit a 3, KD came and hit a 3. Like they're taking turns.
Yeah, just take turns like straight ISO. Man.
Yeah,
which even takes away my original. Not really problem, but my original question about the off ball, like what Kyrie, we even talked about that, like what Kyrie and Harden would really do off ball, because we know like they don't do a whole lot. But I mean, even like the way it went in that game, it seems kind of like giving each other just their space to operate might be the most effective thing, because when you put somebody on an island with Kyrie and Harden and they can't be double teamed. Maybe it doesn't matter if there's a screen for KD off the ball or something like that. It probably doesn't. Yeah, it probably doesn't matter as much because what are you gonna do?
But apparently they are what I don't know, record 9-2 against 500 plus teams.
The
Nets.
You're talking about since the trade for Harden?
No, yeah. They had a great record against 500 and above.
Yeah, they did at a point. Obviously, they lost to the Sixers without everybody. But that they did have a.
So maybe they play up to the competition. I don't know.
Yeah, because the games that they did lose were the 3, the Wizards and then the 2 Cavs. And
you beat Clippers, but lost to the Wizards. Stuff like that happened. Man.
Yeah, that's a funny one. The Wizards are still sitting. Oh yeah, that happened after we left too. We were talking about Bradley Beal and stuff like that. He does not want to trade Bradley Beal. I don't know if you had seen it.
I wish he would have said it instead of a reporter saying it.
Yeah,
I like what a player said.
Yeah.
He said it before. He came out and said, "I don't want to leave," but this time.
So basically, your worry is players always come out and say like,
yeah, he's not that type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the guy like, yo, I'm out of here, fam.
Yeah. The Washington love is strong there.
Yeah.
Between
The Wall didn't want to leave. They really love DC like that.
Yeah. The Wall thing was confusing because I heard first I heard from him, he said he didn't want to leave, but then
he didn't want to leave, but once they started shopping him,
yeah,
I feel kind of tight about that.
right.
And Bill could have stopped that if he wanted to.
He could
have stopped that.
You think so?
Wall, yeah. Because Bill, they focus on Bill. Bill like, yo, I want Wall.
True.
I don't believe I'm pretty sure they run that shit by Bill.
Yeah, I wonder what his influence would have been there because he had a nice heartfelt message when he was traded. Well, either way, yeah, Bill says he doesn't want to be traded at the moment, and it hasn't been that long since he signed that contract either. So
I think it's 2 more years, right?
Right. I think it's about probably a bit more than that. Yeah, it might be a bit more than that. But yeah, Bill seems like he is going to be a Wizard at least for a little bit longer. There's no realistic trade options out there right now, so I guess the Wizards are just going to.
They want to farm for Bill.
Do you think some of what you heard is too much?
I heard the Nuggets scenario. I heard a Heat scenario.
Yeah, I did hear the Nuggets one.
I think Nuts were like Murray plus Porter. Yeah, that's a lot. See, Murray, I get Murray. Murray's not gonna be. I think Bubble Murray was a thing. Yeah, pocket dimension type thing. So they think might give up Murray, but I think they want Porter too. Again, this is all like stuff here, but that's too much.
Yeah, and then the Heat.
I can give up one and some stuff, but not both.
And then anytime the Heat are involved in a trade, it's like you hear everything. Got to go, but
I want the white shooters, and they want Duncan and the Hero plus draft swaps. I'm like,
right. Do you think the Heat regret what went down with the Harden trade?
Every person that didn't trade for Harden regrets.
Everybody regrets it, Celtics included.
Yes. Well. Because they wanted Brown, right?
Yeah, and Smart. And probably like some draft compensation and something like that.
And Brown balling. Man.
Yeah, I love it. But
I think Harden is Harden. I know Brown doing good, but it's James Harden, so you make it work.
Harden's leading the league in assists right now too, which is it wasn't you, that was Damo. I was talking to where he basically said like, because a question I asked Damo in locker room is because he was talking about how you didn't respect KD's ring or whatever, all that.
I had a follow-up question, but I didn't get a chance to ask. Matter of fact, on the side note, I apologize because I was super tired that day.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like falling asleep, and but next time be great. But I was super tired.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, were you cold? I hear talking 2 hours. Like, I was super tired.
Oh, yeah. If you hadn't, I meant to talk about the beginning of the podcast. I kind of just blew through the intro. Yeah, we do locker room. The locker room. Oh, shit. Star shower activated. Yeah. That thing talks in the middle of the night sometimes. Oh, yeah. We do locker room, which is like live conversation. Literally just Clubhouse. If you know what Clubhouse is, it's Clubhouse, but for sports and anything else, it's Clubhouse without the invites. So Clubhouse, you got to have somebody invite you to be on the app. Locker room, you don't. We have sports conversations, but because it's our room, we can end up talking about whatever we want. Yeah. And we have live combos. It was pretty lit. We did it last Thursday for the first time. It was a fire experience. But what was the follow-up question?
Well, I'm saying, does he rank Curry higher? The Curry greatness, like what he all-time rank changed because of the 2 extra titles he got.
That would have been a good question. When we get in the room with him again, we gotta ask that because
KD don't mean meaningless. I'm pretty sure Curry he don't go higher in the great. He don't move up because his 2 titles with KD.
It was mostly, it was. I guess I think he would probably say because it was Curry's team. I think he would. But then KD had the finals. We'll ask him. Because Damo had funny thoughts about that. Right. But anyways, I had asked him about Harden then because I was like, well, Harden could easily win a championship with this Brooklyn team, and he was traded here into a big 3. So I was asking him about the what that would do for Harden and what type of championship that would be. And he was basically saying he would respect that more because Harden would have to adjust his game a little bit to actually have won it. It's not a thing where you just kind of threw Harden there and it was a sure win. And so he's kind of doing that so far because he's all right with Kyrie, taking some of the moments where he'll just
majority of the shots, Kyrie.
Yeah. Or KD, and if his numbers go down a little bit, but he's averaging the most assists,
12 assists,
which is why that's why when the whole Harden trade was was happening or when it was in the process of happening, I was always saying, like, people are so worried about him just dribbling and messing up a team. I'm like, fam, he wants to win. That's why.
Another thing is that's the system they ran in.
Yeah, exactly. I always said that.
Yeah, it's not like that's his default setting. That's just what they ran.
Yeah, I was like, he can do more than one thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if he gets traded from Houston, first of all, he wants to trade from Houston. That means he probably wants to win.
Yeah.
I was always like, he can play a different way, or he can be okay with another star doing something that might step on his territory. But if they win, he kind of all right with it. And he showed that. He's the man posts on social media now. He never posted on social media before he was in Brooklyn.
Scary hours. I know he kept posting that.
Yeah, always posting pictures of the team and stuff now. Like when he was in Houston, I never saw this guy. Like his.
Yeah, I think he had a humbling experience. Like all the failures. Like I gotta win, man.
Yeah. And so that's happening right now, and that's why Heat fans were very, very staunch about not giving up a lot of what it would have cost to get.
Yeah, it's
Harden.
just something about he gonna affect Heat culture or something like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit in with the Heat culture. Udonis Haslem said like I didn't need that headache, something along those lines. Of
you can't be listening to Haslem. He's chilling right now. He's about to retire.
Which apparently they were cool after that, anyways. But yeah, and it would have cost.
Philly's
them.
The biggest disappointment for not making that move.
Yeah, and they still might beat them though. That's the thing. That's the team.
True.
That's the team everyone's looking at. So that'll be an interesting thing. That'll be what really kind of solves that, I guess. Because if the Nets end up beating them, but Philly again, back to that point, they got ghosted as far as we know. Houston.
So they had a legit trade, and Houston just didn't return their calls.
Yeah, that's the last story we had heard. Like it was Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons and whatever else was gonna go, and then Philly was apparently ready to make that trade. First, I heard it was too much and that they weren't gonna make that trade. Then I heard, hey, they just didn't call back or whatever. So it's not really much you can do about that.
That's crazy.
But I do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I do agree with you though. That is, I do agree with you that Philly probably missed out the most on it though by the deal not going through. But
Harden with the beat, terrifying.
Yeah. So yeah, that brings us. I'm gonna look around a little bit of what we are looking like in the standings, because we are starting to get to a point where there's some distance. There's some distance showing up between teams that we want in the playoffs and what they would need to do to get there. Like Dallas being now, what is that, 3.5 games out? I'd say it's still only 2.5 at 14.
That's crazy. He was my preseason MVP.
He was, Luka.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saying I cursed him basically because.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I know he had so much hype, and I know narrative gonna love it, media gonna love him. So
I think that was everybody's preseason MVP. That was most people's preseason MVP because he had like the most perfect situation for it. Yeah. And there's other circumstances that have been out of their control, obviously, but. Yeah, at this rate, I don't know. They got quite a bit of ground to make up, given the way things are kind of solidifying. Portland is still staying alive. Damian Lillard has got them at 7, just trying to keep them above water basically until C.J. McCollum can get back. Wiseman should be back sometime for the Warriors. Golden State is kind of just hanging around there.
I remember the Lillard question in locker room. I forgot what it was, but I really want to expand on that. We'll talk about it later. I don't know, Lillard, maybe. I forgot what it was. Some Lillard-related question.
It wasn't. That's not the one they called overrated. Everyone gets called overrated.
That was...
Because I don't remember Lillard. There was so many questions that day.
You're right.
Yeah, there was something that day. Some of the locker room stuff will probably maybe become some podcast content. It was hectic that day, so nobody really wrote anything down what was going on in there. It was just kind of an introductory thing. But yeah, I think the Warriors are kind of hanging around where they're going to be near the end of the standings here. Denver 6 with Jokic putting up a career high. He tied his career high like a week ago, put up a career high, and then they lost to the Kings. The Kings pretty much just have their number this year. They've beaten them like 3 times.
Oh, for real? Wow,
Yeah.
I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 or 3 times. Yeah, the Kings are. They just match up well with them. I don't know. They just.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, matchups are just weird. So that'll be funny if the Kings end up in the playoffs, because things like that do happen. LeBron. Oh, yeah. So I found the NBA's actual MVP ladder, by the way. We were looking at Basketball Reference last week just because I wanted to show you like how weird a lot of the ladder looks. They have LeBron first right now. The NBA's MVP ladder has LeBron James first. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. The Lakers are more or less cruising. Anthony Davis hasn't really played like Anthony Davis this season. So they've got LeBron first. They're saying at 36 in year 18, he showed no signs of slowing down. And
I said this in the pod. Like eventually, the fact that he's not slowing down, you're gonna have to give him MVP eventually.
Yeah, eventually
like
that'll
40 doing this.
Yeah, eventually that'll help.
Yeah.
Embiid is. I didn't realize Embiid is dangerously close to averaging a 30-point double. He's 29 points, 11 rebounds. Sixers keep winning, but they have him second. And Ben Simmons went down with calf tightness. I think it's a short.
If he win games without, it might increase his.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They got Jokic third, which is the conversation we were having last week between Jokic and Embiid. And then Jokic put up a 50-point performance. It would have obviously helped this case more if they won, but nobody cares after that. He's averaging nearly 2 steals per game, by the way, to go along with the near triple-double he's averaging. So that was one of the conversations we're having in the locker room, talking about who was the best offensive player this year. I just kind of don't see how it's not Jokic, just from the numbers and every way that he's affecting the game on the floor so far, with scoring and the vision. With best offensive player, I would probably have to go with him. They got KD at 4, but KD is not getting MVP this year unless something crazy happens. And I got Kawhi at 5. So those are the NBAs. So they do have Curry here. And the next 5 were Giannis, Paul George, Luka. They have him above Steph Curry.
Like 9th or something, right?
Yeah, they got him. They got Steph Curry and Damian Lillard tied for 9th. That's interesting. And then they got Jason Tatum at 10. So, yeah, Tatum is still.
They be doing around at the 5. They be putting people's names. I don't get that one.
Yeah.
Why Tatum 10? I guess they have to go name 10 people.
Tatum and Brown have both kind of taken a good step. Somebody, you heard the question, right? They asked me when we were on the locker room about what was the biggest difference between Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
basically, yeah. What did you think about that? Like,
I think I had the same. He's more fluid offensively. Tatum.
Yeah,
it's like he's more polished, more comfortable offensively. But I love Jaylen Brown defensive tenacity. Like, he's super athletic.
Right,
he get to it.
Right.
I think that's a big difference. One's more fluid offensively.
Yeah, deeper bag, basically.
Yeah.
I think Jason Tatum's game just looks a bit prettier.
Like, if you watch Tatum, he got multiple moves he can go to. Footwork, nice.
Yeah. I think that's the bigger difference. I think a lot of Tatum's scoring as well. He's obviously looked up to Kobe, and a lot of his stuff is tough shot making as well.
I think about Kobe, like, you admire him, not everybody can duplicate those.
Yeah. But Tatum won't hesitate to sidestep or fade away, which he's clearly added to his game, here backing you down.
At least he got size on him.
Yeah. That's why I said I'm patient. Even though we didn't trade for Harden, I'm like, with these two, like, I'm very realistic. Celtics are probably not going to win championship this year. That would take a trade. That would take you. We have a trade exception, that $30 million trade exception still from Hayward. I don't know what we're going to do with that. Without any of that, I mean, we might be able to make some noise in the playoffs, but I don't think we're going to win a championship. I don't think this year anyways. But with Tatum and Brown into the future.
Super young. Time, man.
Yeah, I think it's one of the brightest futures. Like, I'm happy with that, honestly. With whatever happens around them, we got those two locked up for a while, and I'm good with that. Speaking of that kind of looks at the Eastern Conference. Boston is 4th, very average record at 12-10, right behind Brooklyn, who, guys are in and out of their lineup, so that just keeps happening the way it does. Milwaukee will play the Nuggets tonight. They are 15-8 on a 4-game win streak, but people are not paying attention to Giannis or the Bucks this year because regular season. And the Sixers sit 1st overall. Outside of the East, you're looking at, well, not outside of the top 4, which are the teams that people normally watch. Pacers, the Hawks have been able to keep their heads above water. Danilo Gallinari is back. Charlotte Hornets fighting, and the Knicks. And the Cavs are probably officially going to fall out. Now, you'd heard Larry Nance Jr. is injured, right? Injured his finger.
Oh, no.
Whatever. So he's out for probably like, I don't know. It's a good while, maybe a month or two. Yeah, and he's been having an amazing defensive season. So without him, I think the Cavaliers' little dream run here is probably gonna come back to reality and open up a spot. They've fallen down to 10th. And even with the Sexton breakout and everything that's going on there.
What's up with the Heat?
Yeah, the Miami Heat.
Cracked 10 wins
yet. A lot of it, they have postponed games too, right? They had some, but they have not cracked 10 wins. They have not cracked 10 wins. They are 9-14. They are not. They're still only a game out of the playoffs. See, that's why I'm not tripping.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's why I'm not tripping. They're behind the Bulls. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look well, but I think they're gonna play just well enough. Here's my diagnosis for the Miami Heat. I think they're gonna play just well enough to crack a playoff spot this year. I don't think they're gonna have had the rhythm or the chemistry building this year to go much farther than that. Like I don't see them upsetting like a Philadelphia in the first round. You know what I mean? Just because they maybe get there at an 8th or 7th seed, I don't really see any of that happening because I got
a question for you.
Yeah.
I know Jazz was 19-5.
Yeah.
In your Twitter thread, you asked them like podcast questions. One person said, "What do Jazz need to do for the league to take them seriously?"
What do they need to do for the league to take them seriously? It's not so much the thing. You know what the thing with the Jazz is that we've seen cases like this before, man. We've seen this so many times where you have a conference that has these teams that you watch from the beginning of the season and you say those are the guys to beat in the conference, and then somebody will sneak up and they'll have a better record for a while, or they'll look really good. But the thing with the Jazz, specifically to his question, I didn't send the stat to the group, but the Jazz have like one of the they statistically right now are like one of the most dominant teams. I don't want to say ever, but like the way they're winning games, they kind of
like
are.
I don't see it. But I saw the stat, but I just see it when I watch the game.
Like their point differential is up there with like the Warriors and shit. They're not the Warriors.
Yeah.
they're not. They're not the Warriors. I think so it's nothing that they can really do other than actually showing out in the playoffs, because there's nothing that they can do during this regular season that's going to make us go into the playoffs and say, okay, the Jazz are favored over the Lakers, or the Jazz, they're absolutely going to beat the Clippers. I don't really think there's anything they can do with that, short of winning like damn near every game and maybe blowing out the Lakers a couple of times throughout the regular season. They would have to do that. I think the Jazz main problem is that their game plan offensively and what they like to do seems like it might be something that can be stopped in the playoffs. So if teams are going to be switching against them defensively, they can make it very difficult. They just seem like a team that's going to be able to come undone. You know what I mean? Gotcha. Clear weaknesses. They run into a team like the Nuggets, who people might give them the edge over this year, but it's like Jokic is still giving your best defender like barbecue chicken. It's that type of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And again, for me personally, I respect what Utah's doing, and I've sat in. They are a good team. I'm not even saying that they're straight pretenders,
right? But
I've gone through this plenty of times. I watched the Hawks in 2015 win all these games.
That's a little different.
No, I'm not comparing the Jazz to the Hawks. I'm not comparing the Jazz to the Hawks and none of that. I'm just saying that I've seen these teams come up. The Pacers back in the day with the Miami Heat. With Paul George and Roy Hibbert and them. Like, I've seen these teams overtake guys during the regular season, but you already knew what it was when the playoffs came around. Like, I've seen this enough times to say, I'll just take my L if the Jazz are in the finals, but I'm not picking them to, like...
Yeah, if I was a gambling man, no.
Hell no. I'm not taking them to beat LeBron James in the playoffs. Right. So, yeah, I think y'all should watch more Jazz basketball, I guess, if that's how you want to spend. Yeah. That's how you want to spend your night, but... yeah, they're gonna, it's gonna take the playoffs for me. I'm assuming it's probably the same on your side. That your answer to that question, he was saying like what they would have to do to be taken seriously. Like if they blew the Lakers out a couple of times through this season, and they blew the Clippers out, and they were just that dominant
this season,
then maybe people would be like, okay,
not even then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they would have to
take you seriously. It got to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do to Lakers in the regular season. I just feel like you ain't gonna beat these people best out of 7.
Right. That's what I said. They would have to thrash them for people to like really like believe it.
And I don't think Mitchell is at that level superstar where he can gain that respect out of his peers.
Right.
Man, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a building process. Yeah. Like I could see the Jazz being, taken seriously on the level of like the championship contenders in like another year or so. Like if they go on a run this year and they push the Lakers in the conference finals,
I think it's also have to do with their star players. Your star player is a great defender but lack offense, and Donovan Mitchell isn't a superstar yet.
What about Gobert's screen assist though? That's what everybody falls over.
Screen assist,
he's Gobert.
I just think if you have
I know what you mean.
If you had like a Jokic type of center, and you had an upgraded Donovan Mitchell caliber, then you'd take a shot. I think it's the personnel plus also the team, maybe. I don't know.
So you're saying like the tier of stars that Mitchell and Gobert
I look at Donovan Mitchell and Gobert and like, this DP ain't big. I don't care who surround them. They're not beating off. They ain't knocking off the Lakers.
Yeah, you're like, Mitchell and Gobert is not equal to LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
It's not equal to So I mean, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I mean, for what it's worth, like the Jazz could make things interesting. I'm always for a team that can make things interesting in the playoffs.
Is that your dark horse?
Is that my dark horse right now? No. Because the dark horse implies that I see them like I did. They were my dark horse last season, but they're just, I guess, just going in just from what I see right now. I don't have hope that they're going to the finals in this conference.
Gotcha.
Like if everything lined up perfectly, sure. But last year I saw Miami as like a dark horse, and I could see how it happened, and it did happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't really see that happening for the Jazz. But for y'all out there who not paying attention to the Jazz, yeah, their point spread is up there with some of the more dominant teams in history. So you make that determination for yourself if you think the Jazz are up there with like the 17 Warriors and
that's nuts.
It's crazy.
See, when I look at those type of stats is when it's like super misleading. Like I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, because it's
like, come on, man.
Yeah, because you know what time it is. Yeah, like you know what time it is. You know what time it is. Hey, but I'll take my L. Utah is it's a hard place for me to support. They're making Black history optional up there apparently, so I gotta pray any downfall. Well, anyways, we're done with this week's podcast.
Let's just touch up on Brady.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, congratulations to Tom Brady. I realized, I think I said this before, I didn't like Tom Brady because of the Patriots atmosphere. Like I listen, for years I despised Brady, the Patriots, the whole Massachusetts area. I'm serious, like Boston.
I want to smoke with the entire
Sox, all of them. But as soon as he left, I sat back and appreciate Tom Brady greatness. 7th ring, 5th Super Bowl MVP, 10th appearance in the Super Bowl. Knocked off Drew Brees, knocked off Aaron Rodgers, knocked off the new shiny toy and Mahomes. Even though Drew Brees was not in the prime, he had broken ribs. But next year, not going to say nothing about his injuries. Yeah. But it's impressive. But also, that defense, fam.
Yeah, that was
had
crazy.
That boy running all night.
That's what I wanted to, because I did want to talk about that a little bit here at the end. Like, how did that happen? So I didn't know there were Chiefs players that were hurt. Apparently.
Oh yeah, she had some. I think one of these like left tackle was injured, but none of the main offensive weapons. Because
when I asked last
line,
night,
I don't know what's up with that line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like nobody that was supposed to protect Mahomes.
Yeah,
like,
one of them was injured.
One of them was injured.
Yeah, I think one of them was injured. I can't guarantee, but I know one of them wasn't injured.
Because watching it myself, like I know a little bit about football now, and I was wondering like, well, how did this team get here then? Because like the whole game, he was like he didn't have time to aim, and he still threw some dimes that didn't get caught, but he was getting chased around the whole game. Like
as soon as they rush, the play wasn't developed enough for him to throw the ball out.
Yeah.
So you rushing me, my wide outs ain't even out 3-5 feet.
Yeah. And I was wondering how they made it that far. If like,
I think he was injured but they defensive. Tampa Bay defense was impressive, man.
Yeah, no, it was.
Matter of fact, this whole playoff run, and I think 3 games prior to the postseason, they defense been insane. You saw how Aaron Rodgers, he was getting touched too.
Yeah,
touching the hell out of this man.
Is this the same as I feel like this is pretty similar to what happened with Cam Newton because like they were.
You talking about the Broncos?
Yeah, because like the whole game he was getting touched too, basically, right?
Yeah, MVP,
he was running.
Von Miller, he was eating his ass up.
Yeah.
He coming out with grass thing on his jersey and shit. Man.
Yeah, so Bucs defense just clamped. Like it's crazy because like I started following him more and more as I realized Brady might have a chance to actually do this, because I wanted to witness this. Like it's crazy the fact that I had always heard on the outside with this whole thing with the Patriots and Belichick. So he went to Tampa. I was always really curious how this was going to turn out, and every round through, I kept asking people, "Oh, can the Bucs actually win?" People were like, "Nah, that can't seriously happen."
Like no. Before the Super Bowl, Cam Chiefs was a heavy favorite. Yeah. Because Mahomes is special. Mm-hmm. I know this game doesn't represent that, but if you saw some of the plays he was trying to make scrambling, but the balls kept dropping. Yeah. But they offense, like Chiefs have the way better offense. They have Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. Mm-hmm. And Tyreek Hill, he'll get like triple coverage. Right. He didn't get no love.
Yeah. Because they have that one picture that comes out from Mahomes last night where he was like falling at an angle and like threw a dime. He threw it right at the guy's mask.
It broke it up. Whatever. And it's like.
Yeah, it was crazy for me to see like people kept telling me anyway. It's like, oh no, the Bucs can't actually do this, and then like the last game not even competitive. Like the game, the Chiefs
Super Bowl like a scrimmage.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I left halfway through. I came back for the trophy presentation, but I left halfway through, and so there's a serious chance now for 8. I'm assuming with Brady.
Absolutely. If you keep everybody there, Absolutely, he can run this shit too. But think about football is it's a team effort, so everybody got to do their job. KC didn't have a great defense prior to that, but goddamn, they couldn't stop anything and they couldn't create anything.
Yeah.
So it was like, and that's the thing. It was super hype. We was a big letdown because we were expecting like a high offense type shit. Like we're talking about pushing late 20, early 30 points. But yeah, it was clean up.
What's up with Gronkowski? Because I know he came out of retirement for this. Is he done now?
Nah, you get easy rings like this.
Yeah.
Ahead.
How many is this for Gronk now?
Gronk has 4, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, man. He like, yo, I came out of retirement. He's not even in his prime at all.
Yeah. No, you can tell when he runs.
Yeah.
Like,
You look like he running in sand and shit.
Yeah, look at somebody's dad out there, right?
Yeah, man.
Like stiff and everything.
And it's like they can run it back. They keep there, and that's the thing. Like what makes Brady, I know he get a lot of credit. He deserved it. The world gives him great because Antonio Brown got a championship.
Yeah.
And he was waived.
Yeah.
Fredette from Jaguar, the running back, he was waived by the Jags.
Wow.
Got him a ring. First time playing with JPP, he got a ring. Like, fam.
Yeah, that's some GOAT
That's
shit,
greatness,
bro.
man.
That's some GOAT shit, because, yeah, to go to a team and do this in the first year, and especially what type of season this has been, probably.
And his team cooked the current best player.
Yeah. Like,
dude got like 12 years older than this guy.
Just from what I know, I don't think anything like that'll ever be matched. Like,
And we said that a lot, it never gonna happen, but fam, this will never happen.
Yeah.
7 rings.
Yeah, and the way it's happened too. Like, this morning, I went back and I looked through some of his last championships, like how close they came to not happening. Like the one with the Seahawks.
Yeah, we don't know how to say that.
Yeah, and then the fucking what really makes me not, because again, I played Madden a little bit, so I have an idea about football that I didn't when I used to watch those Super Bowls. And so like I went back and now I watched the comeback that happened in 2017 against
the Falcons.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, how the fuck? Like it was the third quarter and it was like a 25-point deficit. And
man, Falcons shit on themselves. They didn't know what to do. They let this man get back in the game.
Yeah, and so that's all GOAT activity.
Yeah.
And
he beat the best player, plus he beat the current MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Yeah.
But the defense must get their credit. Todd Boyle's the defensive coordinator.
Right.
Fam. Even Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, both blacks. I'm surprised they have both coordinators black, and it's impressive, man. But that defense is insane. We never saw Mahomes in his pressure.
Right.
I heard this is the most pressure quarterback has happened in Super Bowl history.
Wow.
Like he was scrambling every play.
Yeah,
like,
no.
God damn.
Yeah, like every from the same side. Sometimes like dude comes around and he's like, oh shit.
And they was getting through that line like it was butter. I don't know what. Maybe all the key people was injured, but I understand this shit.
Yeah, that's what some people told me. So Brady has like 2 expected years left of his career.
Yeah, he got 2 more. He got 2 more years, but he said I'm open to playing Wheeler before 45 because he's 43 now, and he looks young. He don't look 43.
Yeah,
he's
not
in
at
perfect
all.
shape. Plus, it's an offensive league, so they protect the quarterback and much offensive players. That's why you see all them penalties and shit.
Right.
But yeah, he can do this for a while.
That's crazy. So like at this point, like no amount of like losses can hurt him. Like if he go back and lose
he
the
got
next
7 rings, bro.
Yeah, you go back and lose the next 2.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he can win another ring and like, yo, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I retired. That's some super GOAT shit right there.
7. That's crazy. Yeah, I just wanted to witness it. Like I'm not a football guy. I just
got
wanted
more
to see
rings
it.
than franchises.
Yeah, yeah, but then every NFL franchise, they said,
Yeah.
right? How the
And they was thrashing Belichick. Fuck that. He was like, yo, look, see, I guess Brady was more important. Shit like that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tampa. Shout out to Tampa Bay, man. They call it Tampa
They had
Brady.
a lot of people. Yeah, Tom Bay.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
What did you think of the halftime show weekend?
I like
if
weekend.
you saw it.
I was expecting a little more though, low key.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting like some. I don't know. Because apparently he wasn't allowed to get on the field because of the COVID situation. That's why they built that whole little.
But they did go on the field though.
I know. Originally, he couldn't. But that's why they built the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't loud, but I guess they changed it.
Uh-huh.
It was a great performance. I know people pay attention to the performance and commercials. So I don't know why people so big in commercials.
Yeah, I've never after a certain time.
Should be on like American Today. Like, look, it's great these commercials.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I stopped paying attention to the commercials after a while. Like they used to be like the specialty, and then like I stopped seeing them.
Playing like 30 minutes for like 30 seconds. Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so yeah, I thought it was a good halftime performance.
Yeah.
I fucked with it. I thought we were gonna see a bit more after hours stuff on there.
That's what I was expecting. I thought after hours tour.
Yeah, because he was wearing the same.
I think he'll come out with the little bandages and shit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't get as much as that as I would have cared for, but still,
I cool.
And he gave us a new meme, so I'm cool with that.
Like
yeah, look at the gold room. I knew immediately. They meme that every halftime show gives us something meme worthy. Well, this podcast is gonna be live on Spotify and iTunes with the link in comment section and description. We'll be live on the Locker Room app tomorrow. It's always 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so come through and chat with us about whatever is going on that week. We normally do it during games specifically because that'll add to the conversation. So that'd be pretty cool. Rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed, and the bell next to the name if you want notifications every time this drops. We'll see you next week.